And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
Because we've seen this before. This is like WCW and TNA with a big fat wallet. A lot of the things they do remind me of what WCW did. They're always trying to take an established star and then they misbook them anyway. So,
all right, Jimmy, I don't know if you caught the YouTube special. Last Wednesday, the YouTube special Behind the Curtain, the WrestleMania 40 background. Anyway, long story short, it's just the story what made WrestleMania become WrestleMania. And one of the main focuses, obviously, was the Cody crybabies, right, and the actual changing of the main event, right? They discuss about The Rock and Roman was a done deal. They explained the history of that, how it was coming about, and then they eventually said, this is real. We're changing. I know we've been working on Cody, finishing the story, but we're calling it audible. We're bringing The Rock in. He's wrestling Roman. This was a done deal. And, of course, the stories behind that, the Cody crybabies changed that. Well,
right.
We all know who Busted Open Radio is, right? Let's give them props. Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry, Thunder Rosa, and their host, Dave Lagreca. Lagreca has done, let me give him his flowers first. He's done a lot for the pro wrestling world because he brought wrestling onto a forum that it never got that opportunity before. You had the Arizzis of the world that paid for radio and Vince Russo who paid for radio spots. Let's get real. This is how that happened. Lagreca had enough dream to be able to do a wrestling show, and it is the wrestling show. Dave Lagreca, he shticks it out just like a lot of people do. Sometimes like you and me, right? We shtick stuff somewhat once in a while. We're pretty honest, but we'll shtick it. But anyway, back to this, Jimmy. Lagreca was very upset with this YouTube special because they did not give him the props that he's the reason of the start of the Cody Crybabies, and that's what changed the course of WrestleMania 40, and that The Rock needs to show him the respect, and because The Rock is taking credit for this. The Rock is saying that he saw the change in the fans. He said, we got to give the fans what they want. And The Rock's taking the responsibility for it. I kind of believe The Rock. I do know Lagreca was crying about Cody Crybabies. I know he helped it become trending. I know The Rock actually did a video on him. And I think Lagreca was going to come in his pants because he couldn't believe that The Rock did a video on him. I want to get you, we never really spoke about this. You met Lagreca personally with me. What are your feelings about Dave Lagreca, what he's done for the industry, and what do you think of him as a serious radio host?
Well, you know me, I don't listen to him much. I'll never forget that day. We were. I don't even know if our show was really even going yet.
It was just starting. Yeah,
we were just about to get going, and we went to a theater presentation that Gary Michael Capetta was doing. It was in Queens, and Gary had a.
Jimmy, got to interrupt you because you know the rules. Yeah. Bernard, 10 spot. Thank you, Bernard. Want to read this? Been a fan my entire life of Vince's bookings. In the past 15 years, he's insulted my intelligence to the point where I stopped watching. Haven't been a fan for a while. I owe that to Triple H. I love it. Right?
There you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. When you lose passion for something and someone brings it home for you, that's important.
Triple H has some of the old school components that are probably working splendidly for Bernard. Yeah, sure. I can see that because Triple H is not Vince McMahon. They're different. All
right, back to Lagreca. Back to Lagreca, please. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you. I apologize.
No, that's fine. No, and thank you. Thank you out there for that. Appreciate that. So, there was a session, part of Gary's presentation, where there's some question and answer stuff, and I can't remember what it was I asked or how I went about saying how I said whatever I said. But after the show, this fellow walks up to me, you're standing there. He's like, who are you? He said to me. And I thought that was very bizarre. Instead of, hi, I'm so-and-so, he was like, who are you? And I said, I'm the Pharaoh from Monty and the Pharaoh. We're just getting started. And he said, oh, then he introduced himself. I'm Dave Lagreca. I do, serious radio, blah, 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 and I remember being impressed with him. I was like, that's really cool. He gets to do for a living, right? Remember, I think I said it right then and there to you. I was like, wow, that's cool. He gets to do for a living what we would like to hopefully get to do, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I never heard boo from him again. Basically, you started listening to him. I never heard boo from him again. And then, I would start getting like, did you hear him? I think he's repeating some of the shit you're saying. And I tuned in one time. I'm like, wait a minute, I said that word for word last night. I'm like, what the, So I was always confused by Dave LaGreca. I know for a fact he thinks we're talented. I know for a fact he thinks we have a certain something. It disappoints me that Dave LaGreca has never reached out to us to try to help two guys from New York from his own backyard. If we could be very honest here.
That's your biggest. That's always been your biggest problem. Real quick, Jay Will says April 2024, Forbes ranked AEW the third most valuable combat sports promotion in the world, with an estimated value of $2 billion behind Ultimate Fighting Championship at $11.3 billion and the WWE at $6.8 billion. Interesting. I don't believe it, but that's okay. Forbes knows more than me. Hey, look, Forbes knows more than me. I just don't believe it. I can't imagine that company is worth that kind of money. I mean, what are the Yankees worth right now?
Oh, God, billions. I don't have any idea.
But, so you're saying AEW's $2 billion? The Yankees are worth, what, $100 billion? I don't know.
Who knows? Gazillion.
So good point there. Lagreca, I agree with you. Lagreca, like, how do I do this? How do I say this? Lagreca obviously brings on Bully Ray, right? Makes sense. Brings on Mark Henry. Okay.
Of course.
Wait a minute. No, you know what? Hold on. Let me check that. Brings on Bully Ray. Makes sense. Brings on Mark Henry. No, doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. Mark Henry has no right being on the radio. He's terrible. Okay. Brings on Tommy Dreamer. Sorry. Again.
I get you.
No.
I get
right.
You.
Okay.
Right.
Brings on Thunder Rosa.
Oh, no.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
And then and then they have a weekend spot, right? And there's look, to be honest with you, there's Don Tony, there's other people. He brings on this girl, Denise Salcedo, okay? Now, the girl's got tons of followers on YouTube, tons, right? My wife, I have Fight on my Sirius radio in the car. I have the Fight channel on. And on the weekends, that's all they play is just the reruns of these wrestling programs. And Salcedo does the weekends. And my wife, and again, this is someone that doesn't know anything. She goes, can you turn this off? This girl is awful. And I said to her, and again, I'm sorry for Maria and some of the other females in the room, I said, she's not even good looking. And my wife's like, what does that have to do with anything? And I said, well, I don't understand it. Like, look, I'll be honest with you, right? I've had communication with Lagreca, right? He's asked me to call the show, right? Sure. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Instead of putting these famous people on, why wouldn't you give an opportunity to a show like this who has this huge library where you could take our canned shows and put them on there on the weekend during, midnight? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know a lot of people have this dream of getting called by Sirius XM and Busted Open Radio, but the problem I have is going to the back of the beginning of the show is either I think we're better than we really are, which maybe I am, and that's why I love people, they'll tell you, or I don't know what's going on. I'm serious, and it's troublesome to me. It's troublesome.
Yeah. What's more troublesome is that, the only thing I would ask Lagreca to ponder is to remember what that kid from Long Island did, that kid Howard Stern. Had you ever heard of Baba Booey or Robin before Howard's fame? No. Had you ever heard of Jackie the Joke Man the way the nation knows him now? No, not really. Howard Stern had the foresight to bring people along that he saw had talent that they didn't have to be a legendary figure in the business to complement his shtick. We're a shtick too. and we're a damn good shtick.
Here's the one thing I enjoy.
So I believe, Mike, just to finish my thought, I believe that if he partnered up with us on the radio, we would have killer ratings, and he wouldn't miss a fucking beat.
Well, this is what made me feel good about it, Jimmy, because in his world, he's the Rock. In our world, he's the Rock, and we're him. He's now the Rock looks at him like he does us.
Right.
And now he's all upset because he just got bye-bye, get out.
Shit happens.
Listen, when you're in the catbird seat, you have all the rights. My only point is this. It's like I just don't understand the non-talent out there. Dude, again, I don't want to talk much about it, but I got to just say it. When I see a guy like Lee Cole doing a YouTube channel on wrestling, he doesn't even watch it, and, 200 people come to listen to him because his claim to fame is a brother who claims that he was sexually harassed, not even raped or anything else, not that, he has one or the other. A brother you didn't talk to, and all he does is go in with the same story and the same lies. I mean, if you're a listener to this guy, he's been promising that Vince McMahon was going to be behind bars about a year ago. It still hasn't happened. You know why? Because it's not going to happen. It's like, wake up. And but still people go in, oh, Lee, I believe you. I believe you. Because people want something, like people want to see, forget it. Forget it. I'm not going there.
You're right, though, and to enhance your point, not only do I not watch his stuff because of what you just said, there's nothing to learn or gain. That's truly running in motion, by the way, what he does every week. That's running in just not moving. All right, as far as subject matter, as far as what, you're going to get out of it. It's the same shit every week.
Right.
All right. But I have found, I won't pay any attention to. After we had Bob Cook on, you ever look at his Facebook posts? He's way more engaging. I find his Facebook posts.
I agree.
Bob Cook is entertaining. I'm like, you know what? This is great. I love it. So I would rather look at his Facebook posts. They're way more entertaining than the same. Let me throw shit against the wall and see if it sticks.
Well, it goes back to what Don Tony was saying. Clickbait. Nice thumbnails. Right. Nice thumbnails. Again, listen, dude. I can make thumbnails too. I can make really fancy dancy videos. And guess what, man? You know what?
Right.
I'm sorry, I got a real life job. My focus has to be on my real life job because guess what? Monty and Farrow are not going to pay my bills. So eventually when Monty and Farrow can pay my bills, then guess what? You'll have the best thumbnails you've ever seen in your life. Right? It's like I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't have a fucking 2-ton whale fucking paying my bills for me. Did I just say that? Oops.
Oh, my God. Hey, at least it didn't work for fucking Shut-Eye the Sailor. I mean, my God. You know what I'm saying? It could be worse. It could be worse.
All right, let's get – go ahead. Go hammer it home.
One more thing, though, about throwing shit against the wall. Did you know that there's a Grateful Dead fan page out there that has a billion followers on it, right? They put a picture up. This is Jerry Garcia's last concert. Bro, it's a photo of him in 1975. The guy died in 95. And they have thousands of people that go to their page. I'm like, do you realize what kind of shit's being thrown against the wall here?
Bro, wait a minute. Now that you just brought that up, I got to bring it. So Sunday, me and the wife went to go see Son of Skynyrd, I think was the name of the band, right?
Oh, they sounded great, by the way.
Well, Jimmy was on doing the show, The Baseball Bums. And guys, I'm telling you right now, it's a new show. It's Jimmy and Benny. They're talking baseball. It's a great show. Sunday at 8 o'clock, so it's your home before work. I'm telling you, must listen. They did one show, and I said to Benny and Jimmy, you got to keep doing it. It's going to catch fire. It's really good. But anyway, I'm at this concert, and Son of Skinner's on, and Benny and Jimmy are about to go on. So I'm letting them listen to the concert a little bit.
Yeah.
But the funny point about it, they were very good, by the way. But the funny thing about it, that you mentioned Garcia, is there's people at this concert in the state park wearing their Skynyrd shirt, and I'm like, dude, my God, losers. Wrestling isn't the only place with losers.
I saw your exchange with Donna today on Facebook, and Donna was like, wearing a Leonard Skinner Gothic shirt for a Leonard Skinner tribute band. And she's like, losers. I was like, oh my God. I was dying. I was like, wow. And then I realized something really pathetic, Mike. You ready?
Yeah.
That could have very well been me.
Oh man, dude, I would have ripped that shirt off you. I'd be like, do not wear a Skinner shirt, dude. It was like,
man.
dude, they at the end they're like, what song y'all want to hear? And everybody's like, Free Bird, and I'm like, oh my God.
Did you
Just stop it.
yell "Smoke on the Water"?
Yes, I did.